sleigh. Hey!
And I've got one.
Oh yeah?
Dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, this is one that we know better.
Oh yeah.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been good or bad, so be good for goodness sake.
What's up with that, guys? How do we manage to take this historical legend of this kind old guy in a village delivering presents to boys and girls that need it, to shine a little bit of light and joy and compassion into their lives? We managed to take this and turn this figure into a tool for manipulating our children and forcing them into behaviors that we want to see. That sucks. Now, I don't have a beef with Santa. Oh, maybe I do. No, it's not with Santa. And actually, we do a little bit of Santa stuff in our homes at Christmas. I should tell you about that, about whether I told the truth to Ramona. So one day when Ramona was 4 and I wasn't very prepared for it, she asked me if Santa was real. And I did the whole, Santa is based on this beautiful, real story of this man in a different country who did this, and told this sort of Saint Nick kind of story. And then after I did the whole thing feeling quite chuffed with myself, like, she was like, no, but Mum, is there a guy at Christmas that comes into people's houses with presents down the chimney on a sleigh? I want to know the truth. And when she asked me like that, I wasn't prepared to lie to her. I wasn't even prepared to try and keep this sort of gentle myth just kind of flowing through our lives. Because sure, Santa is magical, but you know what else is really magical? Having a relationship with your children where they can absolutely trust everything you say. That to me is more magical than Santa coming down the chimney. And it's quite funny though, because so many other people really believe it, she kind of asks anew every Christmas, like, but really, Mum, is Santa real? And I often just now say, well, what do you think? I've told you what I know. Do you want to keep doing all the Santa-y things that we do? And she says yes. So we actually do write a letter to Santa on Christmas Eve, and Santa writes a letter back in the morning. So we do have all of those little rituals that I grew up with, but my children enter into it, into the spirit of kind of fairy tale and telling stories and that kind of thing, rather than them actually believing Santa has been to their house, which I believed until I was about 10. And every Christmas morning, me and my sister were too scared to go into the lounge where our presents were in case we saw Santa. And I can remember a few other kids trying to break it to me that Santa wasn't real, and I'd believe them for a little while, and then my mum and dad would be so convincing, and other older children and other parents, that I would go back to believing in Santa. And actually, when it really dawned on me that Santa wasn't real, I felt as if I'd been the victim of a really intense conspiracy. I can distinctly remember feeling, what? You guys, all of you guys, my whole life. I honestly felt like that. So I'm not prepared to do that for my own children. But we do all the Christmas things. You know, we love it. We even sing that song probably every day, the Jackson 5 version. Santa Claus coming to town. We honestly sing it all the time. And I just have a little conversation with them afterwards. I'm like, you know, you guys are inherently good. Like, sometimes you might do things that don't always please everyone, but in your hearts, you guys are good, and no one gets to judge whether you're good or bad. You know, the strange thing that we do with children, which is like paint people as naughty or nice or good and bad, and that's just not really the truth. I think all people have within them this kind of light side and this shadow side, and actually painting this really severe thing of some people being good and some people being bad, it's not like that. You know, we're all human, we're all good, but we're all inherently flawed. And so I try and have a little bit of a conversation like that after we sing that song with the girls, just about how good they are, and, you know, nobody gets to judge them. So my last thing about Santa, it's not about Santa though, okay? It's about, you know, I love Santa, don't get me wrong. Do I? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, but what is with the total disrespecting of a child's body autonomy by taking a little baby or toddler and sticking them while they're crying on Santa's lap. That's not cool. I was a Santa's elf for a little while when I was a student, and even then I had no parenting knowledge and definitely no respectful parenting knowledge. I knew deep down that it wasn't good to put crying children on Santa's lap in the mall. You know, like, what kind of lesson are you teaching them to go against all of their body signals telling them not to sit on the lap of a stranger? You're just overriding it in order to kind of get a funny photo of the kid like screaming on Santa's lap. Not cool. I hear that there's lots of malls and new places kind of doing it a little bit differently and having kids sort of sitting next to Santa or high-fiving. And that's cool, because it's cool to visit Santa in a mall. The whole making a great joke about children crying on Santa's lap is really rude to the child, quite frankly. I'm not a total, what's the word, bar humbug, Ebenezer good, Grinch. And so I'm going to tell you about this little competition going on over with my peeps, Channel Mum. Every week throughout the festive season, they're doing big giveaways of vouchers and stuff like that. So I really recommend that you head there. You can go to the link just below my thingy and enter. It's super easy to enter, and you could win. They're drawing winners just like all the time, willy-nilly. And even if you don't want it yourself, I had the idea, because you know I'm like not really that big on going to shops and spending loads of money. But I thought, like, how beautiful would it be for somebody to win it and then gift the voucher to like a women's refuge or like foster homes or something like that, so people at Christmas could get a whole load of new clothes or, you know, stuff that might just cheer them up a little bit. So a little way of kind of passing a beautiful gift forward, which is really what I think Christmas should be about, guys. You know, not manipulating people or telling them that they have to be good in order to get presents or anything like that, but it's actually meant to be all about compassion and kindness. Yeah, head on over to Channel Mum to check that out. Oh, I've been going on for like 8.5 minutes. What do I talk about? Okay, anyway, it's a little bit of a little one from me today, because I have got to tell you, life is busier than it's ever been, ever right now. Like, seriously, we need to work in the garden like for hours every day because it's going off the hook, which is great because yummy, we're growing our own food and everything, but it's kind of relentless, the old growing veggies thing. And also we're still on that firewood mission. We're trying to get 10 cubes of firewood before really the summer starts cranking, and Tim cut his thumb. We had to do an emergency trip to A&E to get it stitched, and we've also got this unschooling camp going on, and we're working 2 days a week for the last 6 weeks getting that all ready, and so that is taking over our lives, but we are so excited. We've got so many people coming to camp out with us over New Year's. Other big busy thing, well, my work is always busy, but Tim is trying to get our camper van. Do you remember we bought that caravan? We need a camp in it at the camp, and at the moment it's like a wreck, you might remember. So he is doing all this in order to make the caravan sleepable. In, you know, just the few little spare hours of the day. And I haven't even really, you know, after starting all gun-ho with the Christmas tree, like in November, I haven't actually bought a single present yet. Hey!
Better
not cry, you better not, you better not, I'm telling you why.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Life is bonkers. I'm sure it's totally mad for you as well, because what's with December? I'm probably going to go and do some of the things on the to-do list though, rather than just talking your head off. Before I go, I'll leave you with our Christmas tree spectacular. wherever you are in the world, whatever you're up to, I hope you're having a jolly good time, and always remember to keep radical.